I'm sorry, that's the fucking truth.
So white kids?
The white kids, you know what? Thank God for the white kids though, because they pulled me out of the, not of all the issues, but of most of the issues. Now that's when I met Darian, and started hanging out with her during practices. We didn't hang out like after school or anything yet because she thought I was a little gangster. I used to have my lip pierced and
Yeah, you can still see the battle wound.
yeah, on fucking like thin ass eyebrows. Lord. But no, uh I did what I think volleyball was the first. No, volleyball and basketball. I don't know. I did volleyball. I was on B team. I sucked ass. Never played volleyball in my life. I loved it though.
That's good.
But I didn't remember Darian on the volleyball team. I don't remember if she was on my team or on a different team. But I do remember like it was a big gym, so all the teams like practiced together.
Big ass
Except
fucking
for-
schools out here, so.
Yeah, except for the varsity team, I think they had their own time. But and then we did basketball together. Not together. She was on varsity. She's very good at basketball. She was also very good at volleyball, but basketball was like her sport. And I remember at that point or a little bit after basketball, we started hanging out, or she kind of like approached me. And I remember always like seeing her hang out with all the other jockey kids, I guess you could say. And I remember always like looking at myself like a short little Mexican girl.
What's changed?
Yeah, listen. Everybody it was really weird because there was a lot of people that would be like, "Oh, she's like Mexican, she doesn't fit in," or she's like they look down at me. And then there was a lot of people that was like, she's a white girl. And so I just feel like I never really like fit into any like clique or whatnot. But once I met Darian and once I started hanging out with Darian and then once I got introduced to her family, I feel like that's kind of when I started taking myself in school and sports and doing like how you said, like throw yourself into that and kind of like finding some guidance. Darian has phenomenal parents. They are really good to everyone that's around them, no matter who they are. So I feel like that helped a lot. I know that there was at one point during high school that my mom and my dad had officially like split up, I think the end of my freshman year. And I remember I did dance team. I was on dance team for the Pasco High Bulldogs, and I did that freshman year and a little bit into sophomore year. And I remember it causing issues with my parents also, and just like everything I did caused issues with my parents. Like, you know, when you blame everybody else except for yourself for your own issues. But what did I know? I was like, what, 14 or something? 15, I don't know. But I do remember there's a part where they were going through it. My parents were going through it, and I was kind of like scared to be around, I guess you could say. That I was gonna go live with Darian at one point in time. So I know that her family and like her sisters and even her older brother, like they were all always very nice to me. And every time I was with them, like they always paid for everything because I was like broke little girl. I remember being in high school. I had another friend. I'm pretty sure she was Russian or Ukraine. I can't remember the exact like the proper, but I remember her. She would take. I did running start in my junior year, so she would always like take me back and forth to school. And then her mom would feed me, or she would feed me. She would make me grilled cheese, and her mom would make like really good crepes, and this raspberry jam is like what I remember. But
you know it's good when you go like this.
Yeah, the Italian's coming out.
Yep.
I vividly remember being with her and her boyfriend and going to lunch with them, and like I think we went to McDonald's, and that's when like McChickens were like lower price. Well, yeah, they're still a thing, but every now and again, all right. But I think they were like, it was when they were like $2 and some.
Oh, they're probably on the dollar menu.
Yeah, but I remember literally crying in the back seat, like obviously without them knowing, but because I didn't have money to pay for lunch. Sad. And I remember they ended up buying me lunch, but I think that was the beginning of junior year because I didn't have a job quite yet. Yeah. I had like a bunch of little like side jobs and like chores and whatnot, but it wasn't anything like
legit.
Yeah. My first job was at fucking Dairy Queen. That was a fucking nightmare shit show in itself. All the experiences there, no. Don't recommend.
Yeah. We could save that for another one.
Yeah, that was a lot to handle. But I remember doing Running Start, and like I said, I did it my junior and senior year, and my dad, it was just me and my dad at his house at this point. My mom, my brother had moved out, and I wanted to stay with my dad. Cause I felt bad for him, and then I also low-key knew that I was gonna get away with more shit if I stayed with my dad. Cause he was a truck driver, and
you were legit rugrat.
Yeah, he ended up getting a job. That he was gone for a week and here for a week and gone for a week. Yeah. And so I always remember like driving him to the truck stop in King City and whatnot to like send him on his way. And then when I was finally able to drive, or when he trusted me to drive, before I was actually allowed to drive per Washington state, I suppose. Yeah. He let me borrow his truck while he was gone until, yeah, that was just like the end all be all, I suppose, for me, because I was like, oh, some freedom, and I don't have to walk places or fucking use my longboard. But I remember me doing Running Start. I remember he would always brag like to his friends about me doing Running Start and being in school and being so good in school. But then he would like complain that he either needed to pick me up, drop me off, or I needed to borrow the truck, or I wasn't there to be his like.
Move it a little closer.
Me? Hello?
That's better.
Is it picking it up?
It is now. It wasn't. I mean, like it was, but you can see that it was minimal. There, pick that up.
Oh, yeah. I guess I'm the pink one, huh?
Yeah.
My brain.
What you were saying is, like for Running Start and those types of things, and you excelling, your dad was proud, and he would tell his friends and kind of brag in that way, but to you and having to drop you off and things like that, he was kind of complaining and making it seem like you were a burden.
Yeah. Yeah. And so for Running Start, I think you only have to pay for like the books and the fees. Mm-hmm. And so I remember renting my books off of Amazon because you can return them for free and whatnot. I did have to buy some books, and then obviously I had to pay for the fees, which was like $200 for. I tried to do it full time. So I took three classes my junior year and 3 my senior year. But I remember him, like me, trying to like ask him for money, or just like help me out, because he's like never given me money, never helped me out, never bought me clothes. Like he didn't buy me fucking the basics like shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste. Like
I feel you.
None of that shit was supplied. Even though it was demanded. But I don't know. I remember that being like, what the fuck? Like, how are you gonna go like brag about me to other people and then shit on me at home? But anyways, skipped to senior year, and I, like I said, hung out with the wrong people again. Got into kind of a I feel like I was just trying to find myself, I suppose, and I was hanging out with older people who were not doing the greatest things. And um even though I knew that they were not doing the greatest things, I guess anything was better than being home. And then also being in the relationship that I was in, I guess I was aware that it was, um, I guess, flatlined, I suppose. And so I feel like I was trying to, I guess, act out in some type of way and again find myself and find out what I wanted to do or who I wanted to be. Um, I did end up going through a little drinking phase the end of my senior year, and then I did end up dropping out of Running Start. So I did not finish my AA, unfortunately, and then I technically graduated high school, I think, at the end of my junior year because of the college credits. Um, but I think I still need like 10 or so credits for my AA, so I never got that. I don't think I'll ever get it, especially knowing what I know now and being in project management and trying to do all these other businesses on the side. Like, to me, if you like truly want to go to school for something specific, then like I guess that's on whoever wants to go, but just going to get my basic AA, like, it's not worth it to me. And then if I were to go back for something more specific, I would have to start over most of the classes because I don't have any prereqs for like anything specific.
I guess might go off on a tangent, but you speaking like that, how do you feel about college?
I think that you can learn more on YouTube Academy and in the streets than you can from college. I
Mm-hmm.
think that like a business course or something like that is definitely beneficial. Um, and then I think more trade schools are needed and wanted. And I think those actually teach you something. They teach you most of the time to do something with your hands. It's like normally a service field, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what everybody is kind of needing these days.
Yep.
Um, I've definitely gone back and forth with wanting to be an electrician and doing welding or being a mechanic or something to that effect rather than I don't even know what the fuck I was going to college for. So there's that. I was just doing it to do it, I guess.
Because it's a norm.
Because it's the norm. Because I didn't have to sit in a bunch of high school classes with a bunch of people I fucking hated.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
to be polite. Um,
So polite.
in junior year, I only had 2 classes at high school. And then that's when I started doing sports med because I dropped out of dance because
Well said.
yeah. uh I definitely love sports med though and physical training and athletic training, and I did want to go to school for that. I do remember that. But I remember being held back as I told you, and people not wanting me to go literally across the state. Uh
Mm-hmm.
and then me being naive and just staying. I also contemplated going to the Navy with good old friend Darian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't know, I wasn't really set on what I wanted to do specifically. And I remember getting my first big girl job at a massage clinic and being hired as a front desk and then slowly moving to the front desk lead, I think is what it was called. And then after I did that, I moved up very quickly into like a supervisor role and then a clinic manager. And then I ended up getting 5 of the clinics, and 2 were in Alaska. I had one in Vancouver. I had one here in Kennewick. And then there was a few other across the state that the owner of mine, they were all franchises, so the owner of mine would go out and buy it, and then he created his own business. It was like a consulting business that I was a part of, and there was um, 3 other employees at the time that I was on board, and including myself, it was 4. And so we'd kind of just figure out what clinics were in need, and then I would go in, train everybody, or we would fire everybody first.
Clean house, huh?
Clean house. We would work there if needed before we could hire people. We would train people. We were fucking sales trainer, front desk trainer, back of the house trainer, everything trainer.
Yeah, sounds well put together.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing we didn't do was the actual massage, so or facials. But that was like my first big role job, and then I moved into management very fastly, and then once I was in management, I kind of that like leadership role is where I finally kind of found myself, because I was able to I guess have teamwork. And the thing that stuck to me was I had a boss, or like a dictator, and I knew that I didn't want to be like that. I got along with everybody more so because I still had boundaries, but I was very friendly with everybody. I was not bossy, or even though I was very bitchy. I was very tense and very uptight for quite a while. But being in those leadership roles, I guess, is what kind of led me to just still wanting to have my own team. But I knew I didn't really want to be in like the massage, facial, girly world, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then I actually ended up getting fired from that job, which a few weeks later I quickly realized that it was like a blessing, because I probably would have never left, and it was a very toxic environment, which is funny because I got fired for creating the toxic environment.
Funny how that works, huh?
Funny how that works. But then I remember scrolling on Indeed and coming across a company quite a few different times for quite a few different roles. And there was like front desk sales. There was a lot of sales position open. And I remember not wanting to apply because I knew that some of the people that I went to school with worked there.
Yep.
And so I was like, no, 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 for a few weeks. And then I needed to go back to work like sooner rather than later. So I just said YOLO and fucking applied to like a front desk job, I think. And then I did my interview and then gave them my background. And they were like, yeah, you're not front desk. And then they moved me into a different position, which was higher paying, and it had potential to lead somewhere else, I suppose, I guess I'd say. And then that's kind of what got me into the construction realm and the electrical solar realm. And I quickly fell in love with electrical and solar more specifically. And then it was kind of a wild ride, I guess, while I was there. I think I was there for like 2.5 years only. Um, but I definitely learned a lot. The owners, the previous owners, I suppose, of the company were entrepreneurs themselves. Every single, I guess, VP there had come from another business that was in a very high role, high regard. Most of them had moved from Utah to here, or like my boss directly, he moved. I don't know what the number was, but him and his wife and his family moved multiple different states because he was in oil, and then he came and did solar, and then um, just seeing how everybody was very family oriented, and still able to make money and have like multiple different side jobs going and still pour themselves into this business, and seeing what it could potentially become, and being just honestly batshit crazy um about everything that they did. which I say that in a good way.
Yeah.
At first I was like, holy shit, what's going on? But then after a while, I also realized that you can like pick and choose what you want to like retain, right?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things that I didn't agree with or would have done a different way, but there was also a lot of things that I like saw and that I wanted to take and apply like to myself. And I still to this day, like, I show you their like podcast or their
Yep.
YouTube channel and like their posts and stuff, like I still very much read into everything that they're doing and like saying like, oh, I could do that, or I want to do that, or
They're successful people.
yep. And I think the biggest thing was seeing how much time they actually spend with their families, but also how much time they spend in their businesses. Like, I remember them pulling all-nighters at the business and like trying to generate leads and sales and get installs and like all of that. And I remember like just being so wrapped up in that world, and it was very like, it was almost like a high, I guess you could say. um and it felt good to like be helpful. And there's that childhood trauma where you like get the little pat on the back and you're like, yeah.
The little bit of gratification that you never got as a
Yeah.
child.
Yes.
Oh, this feels good.
Yep. But yeah, I definitely, I took that and I ran. I quickly did get burnt out though. I know my last few months there, I truly did not perform very well because I was just like ready for the next thing.
Yeah.
Because once I like have my mindset on something, like I'm just like there. I remember like moving over to the west side is kind of where it started. To go downhill for that job, but then also me realized that I didn't want to be here in Tri-Cities anymore.
Yep.
So I guess it's kind of like hit or miss, I suppose, with what the good was, what the bad was. But I'm definitely very, I know I talked to you a lot about that job, but I'm very grateful for that job. I'm grateful for everybody that I worked with, everybody that I met along the way, all the friends that I curated, and all the knowledge that I learned, all the skills that I learned. It's when I've always traveled since like my first big girl job, but like I went to like states with them, and it was like, I don't know. It just gave me a taste of like what I wanted to do, I suppose. So like us having our businesses and then still working while those businesses take off, or like me not wanting to work and then trying to find like something else on the side. We're trying to find like multiple different avenues of income. It's definitely, I feel like, challenging at first, and it's kind of like, well, when is this gonna happen? Or I don't want to do the work. It's very easy to say I don't want to do the work, and it's very easy to quit, and it's very easy to, I guess, lack the discipline when you don't have the motivation. And I definitely struggled with that, and obviously being postpartum, all my emotions are like fucking out the window.
Yeah, or busting through the front door.
Yes, yeah. And definitely emotional about a lot of things. And like, I know with Abigail, like I instantly went back to work like a month after, and I was able to take her with me.
Yeah.
And then at 6 months I had to find someone to watch her, but like I don't want to, I guess, just have kids to have somebody else raise them.
Yep.
I definitely still want to work. Like, I still want that self-worth and being able to provide for us and our family and our wants and our needs and all of that.
You have the artistic brain and the ADHD and
yeah,
all those things.
yes,
So
yep,
you always need the gratification, the fulfillment, and that's not in a bad way.
yeah. The little grunts.
They're gonna get picked up for sure.
Yeah, they did in the last one.
I was gonna ask you what your why is, but you kind of covered it.
Yeah.
In a roundabout way. I guess, do you want to touch on what your, I guess, first business is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose. Not the 9 to 5, right? Like
Yeah.
my.
No,
okay.
like yours.
Okay. So it's photography. I have definitely always been interested in photography. I remember my dad's mom had a Nikon camera. Like, I don't even know what model it was, but it was old. Because this is when I was like 6, 7 years old. I remember always seeing like old film pictures. My mom always took pictures. Like she was telling you the other day, like she has the negatives and would go and develop her pictures at Walmart or
Yep.
Walgreens or wherever. So I've always definitely been interested in photography, and I've always asked for my own camera, but obviously cameras are quite expensive, and so growing up poor and all of that, I never got it. And then once I got my first phone with a camera, because we're, I guess, old these
I'm
days.
old.
Okay, I'm only a few years behind you, but
Yeah.
well, obviously my first phone didn't have a camera. My second phone didn't have a camera. I think my third phone might have had a camera.
Oh God, it was all
Um,
downhill or up from there.
I don't, you know what? I got my camera roll checked a few times, even though I didn't need to be. But whatever. Insecure. I remember always taking pictures of like random things, or like we would always go over to Portland or the west side to go fishing. And so obviously it's very green rather than here in the desert. And so just taking pictures. I always enjoyed taking pictures and being able to have memories. Like I still have pictures of my grandma and grandpa that I took that are like all fucked up, because you know how like on the old cameras where you like turn the dial,
Yeah.
and like if you turn the dial too much, or if you just run out of film and then keep trying to take pictures, like it'll take pictures over the picture film, and so it'll like cut the picture in half or like expose it too much or whatnot. So like I have pictures that are like that, me trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. And then
Well, it's the same right now with your new camera.
yeah, shit's wild. Technology is a lot.
Watching you operate your camera and edit your pictures and videos, it's like a foreign fucking language to me. So
You know what? It was to me too. All I knew is that I wanted to take pictures, and like using my iPhone, like figuring out after a few years, like, okay, like let's put it in RAW now, and so you can edit a little bit after, but like you only have certain things to edit in the iPhone.
right.
And I don't know. I guess just like wanting to continue like building that, and then like trying to figure out how I was gonna get the money to like buy the camera and buy everything else that I didn't know came with it. I just thought I had to buy a camera and I was good to go. That ain't how it is.
No.
No.
Fucking rude awakening.
No, you gotta buy lenses and software and flash, and I guess you don't need a lot of equipment to create good pictures at all by any means, but
No, but there's all other things too. I mean, when you're doing it right and
mm-hmm.
building out your website and hosting fees and even being able to track purchases if you're going to run the pricing through your website, and then the different services for making sure that your taxes are in order, and
Yeah, being actually legit and having an LLC, which I did do that,
all
thank
the
God.
filing, all the paperwork, all yeah, you were legit.
Yep.
You are legit.
Yep.
Talking about your business and how it's getting traction, all encompassing.
Oh, yeah.
And the nighttime pictures that you just took.
Yeah, those were definitely very fun to take. I don't think it was super difficult, I suppose. I think something that I also learned too
Come on.
about no. No.
May.
Lay down right here.
Lay down. Lay down. Lay down.
Oh my goodness.
We can
Good
get her
girl.
a doggy bed
I know.
right here. Or
A little bougie one.
we can get her a little step stool for a bougie one so she can be in the middle because she just wants to be by us.
Good night.
Pod puppy.
Something that I learned about photography, I know everybody's always talking about settings and ISO and f-stop and like all all this shit. I came across a few elder photographers that I guess spoke more to me and more what I am about and like more soulful, I suppose, in it. Where it's like, yes, obviously I know how to do those things. I know how to fix my lighting. Like I have a mirrorless camera, so it makes it easier to see the settings and exactly how the picture is going to be like on the screen.
Yeah.
But I guess what they were saying or what their suggestions are, how they operate, is that in order to take a picture, in order to make the picture look good or like however you like it, is like if you feel like it looks good. So like you could have a super exposed picture, you could have a super dark picture, like make it super moody or like anything like that. But it's just basically like if you like the picture, like that's what you have to, I guess, care about and
Right.
not really listen to, I guess, what other people's opinions are, because photography is all perspective, right? There's not necessarily any bad photographers.
No.
Everybody has their own niche, or not, or they like to do everything. Like I definitely don't feel like I know that I like urban street photography like a lot more. And like those pictures that I did with Alex, I are like still my top favorite.
Yeah.
And then like doing street photography just without a subject, I also enjoy. But then also like figuring out how to curate a business off of that. Like if you're just doing street photography, then are you gonna sell like, I forget what they're fucking called.
Not portraits, but
No,
I don't.
prints. Sell prints. Yeah, I'm tired. Like, are you gonna sell prints? Like, how are you gonna make your money? Like, what's that gonna do for you? Or like, I tried to do that mini session, and like, I ended up just booking a full session, and I liked how those turned out too, and I definitely like I like that people like my pictures and they want me to take their pictures, but also like knowing when to say like, I'm not really your style is definitely something that
Yeah.
I've learned that I am like gonna have to do, because I'm not down with the like, I don't know even how to describe them. They're like very millennial pictures or like very warm pictures
Yeah.
and like stuff like that. Like just not my style.
But you're wanting to do photography that you enjoy, and again, the artistic side, and like you said, like the urban, and that it comes with taking pictures for the joy of it. Yes, you're doing a business out of it, but you're not. Obviously, you want to be profitable in some way, shape, or form with your business. But taking the type of pictures and doing the things that you like while doing it in a business aspect is still fun for you versus taking pictures for other people, I guess, and doing a type of photography that you don't want to do. You might burn yourself out because you're not doing it for the same reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely like how you said, doing it even when I'm not making profit off of it, like doing that shoot with Alex and like not making any money off of it. It was still like my favorite shoot, and it gave me like so much fulfillment after, and I was like, fuck yeah, I want to edit these, and like
Yep.
was like so excited during and then so excited after, and then when I went back a few weeks later and then like looked at the pictures again, I was like, oh yeah, I need to post these like all over and like
They
put them
turned
on
out
my
really, really
portfolio.
good.
Yeah, they did. It was like my first time ever shooting, like, I guess, someone on a fucking bike and a skateboard.
Yeah.
Like I've never done that before, and so figuring out settings again, fucking YouTube Academy over here.
It's working.
It's working. Uh, but no, I definitely am very grateful for finally being able to be legit, because I've talked about buying an LLC fucking for years, and again, just was never the right time, I suppose. And then uh finally biting the bullet and buying a $2,500 camera.
That's what I was smiling about, is because we were at work and I saw you smile and walk past my office, and you turned around, you came, and you were smiling. Like, what'd you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just bought a $2,500 camera.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Did you?
And then all the accessories I thought I
Yeah.
needed, and then I was
Yeah, I need that
wrong.
shit.
I am definitely very grateful for finding, I guess, my mentor and having her post about having mentorships, and I think it was like $400, and I was like, fuck it. What's 400 more dollars? Like, I gotta learn somewhere. And I remember like trying to write down questions that I thought were good, and then actually meeting her, and she was so nice and so helpful, and also pregnant when I was pregnant. We were like a few days apart.
Mm-hmm.
Um but
She's very nice. I like her.
yes, yep, she's good people. Um but I think the most questions I asked her was more so like about the business and how she went about like handling business part of it, because I knew in the long run like I would figure out how to use my camera, and I would figure out how to use fucking Lightroom and all these other software programs, because I would say I'm very tech savvy. Call me IT out here trying to fucking put this podcast together, but
I just bought the stuff for you to put together. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
That's kind of how it goes.
uh but yeah, I remember also feeling fulfilled and creating that like she wants to go to bed. It's past 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
way past 8 o'clock.
I know.
Fuck. It's midnight 30.
That's okay.
But I guess also, instead of just creating content, meeting people and getting out of my comfort zone and getting other people out of their comfort zone, and figuring out how to pose people and working with people who already know how to be posed.
Do you
And
just want me to say it to the camera that I fucking suck at posing?
no, you're getting better.
It's rough.
It's
rough.
it's all right. It's all right when you don't look at the camera. When you look at the camera, oh
I am not photogenic.
yes, you are. You're a very pretty human. You just are awkward, Tago.
Yeah, I need to be just actively.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the other thing. I don't like taking like superposed pictures. Like, I like taking very like candid, or like I don't know. Like, if I'm gonna pose you, it's gonna be like posed where you're not looking at the camera, I suppose.
Yep. That's what I'm good for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you just I guess touched on it right now that we work together at our 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah,
Or
I think you should.
what part?
Whatever part you feel comfortable with, I suppose.
Oh, how I was managing you when you worked for another contractor, and we saw each other across the table, and now we have a 4-week-old baby in that bassinet.
Yeah, and that was like what, a little over a year ago.
Yeah, 16 months ago.
Oh, man knows math.
Yeah.
I guess when you know, or what?
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because our relationship is a best friendship.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I don't know how much I want to put out there. Our relationship is very easy.
Mm-hmm.
Because we quite literally are best friends. How we're talking right now is how we talk literally all the time.
Yeah. It's comfortable.
Yeah, it's always comfortable.
It's comfortable, but not like comfortable in a bad way, or not like at a standstill, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, we still obviously push each other to do like our businesses, and
Supportive in all the right ways.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Figure things out and have tough conversations.
Yeah.
Or when we have something on our mind, and we can easily tell when someone's going through it
Yeah.
and we ask,
Yes.
we can talk like adults.
Yeah, even if it takes me a minute to open up.
Yeah, or a couple hours, but whatever.
Oh, whatever. No, I definitely am very grateful for meeting you and for how I guess things aligned and then us, like you said, and ending up working with each other instead of me working for you. Um and that was a horrible experience. That little stint of a whatever the fuck job I did.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
You just kind of showed up
Yeah.
at work and they didn't know
Showed
how to
up and
use
got
you.
harassed.
Yeah. They didn't know how to use, I guess, your skills or qualities.
No, yeah.
Your strengths.
Going from being like, I guess, a lead or a manager of a department to being a fucking assistant again is just, it's something,
Yeah.
really. It humbled me real fast.
You also entered a male dominant industry and you're a very intelligent human. Unfortunately, men are naive in the field that we are in.
Yeah.
And they overlook, I guess, your intelligence or take you for granted.
Yeah. I definitely felt that a lot. Obviously, you know, everything that I went through with that company, and it was definitely when I was working for them, I feel like at the time I had felt like it was a step backwards. Now, obviously, I know why I was there. And it brought me back home. It brought me to you. It brought me Ronan and all of these other great things that came along with it. We got the dad stare going on, making sure he's still breathing.
Put me on blast.
It's cute.
He's snoring.
Oh, that's good. Like father, like son.
You forget that you snore?
I never said I didn't.
Okay, because I got proof.
I know you do. Put that away.
We can do an overlay.
Uh-uh.
Sound some logs.
No.
But I guess going back to what you were saying, yeah, everything happened for a reason. And I don't know if it's destiny, manifestation, or intuition, or what it is, but I've spoken how prior to me going to Afghanistan, prior to me even knowing anything about Afghanistan deployment, a year and a half before I was telling my coworkers, I'm like, I think I'm gonna be going to Afghanistan. And a year and a half later, I was in Afghanistan. And the same thing. Going back to my employer, working in the estimating department, wanting to make a transition, wanting to travel. I knew, I guess even before I got into that department, that I'd be coming to Washington. Don't know how. I had conversations with people and I had this feeling and I started speaking on it, and then I ended up in Washington.
Yep.
And again, no inkling of either of those things, and those are two major things, and that seems to happen a lot, just like talking about the business. Been saying since 2020 that I'd be starting a business. I knew exactly what for, and I can go into the backstory of that, but lo and behold, I have the LLC now and all those things, and now securing funding to put that into motion. So,
do you want to talk about your business?
Yeah, I suppose I should go into the why. So the business I'm starting is Alopecia Arsenal, and I guess what sparked the interest in wanting to do the business. The backstory is, when I was in Afghanistan, I noticed really badly that I was balding. It was one of my biggest insecurities. I'd shave my head because I had the full widow's peak, the crown, thinning all throughout my head. So then I started doing my own research to figure out how the fuck can I get my hair back, because I'm like mid-20s and this is embarrassing
Yeah.
for any man out there.
Yeah.
It is the most demoralizing thing that we can go through.
Yeah.
Like,
I couldn't
the
imagine.
the two things that men hate the most and won't say it and won't talk about is weight gain and hair loss. You just don't. It's not normal to talk about it.
Right.
You don't talk about it. If you talk about it, you talk about it in a joking manner with your friends or your buddies, and like make fun of somebody.
But like low key, you're insecure.
Super insecure, but
Yeah.
then they make it. Then they insecurely or whatever make a joke about themselves in
Yeah.
turn. That's just the norm.
Mm-hmm.
I guess cosmetics and I guess self-care when it comes to men isn't really talked about. It's not necessarily normal, right? But all those things aside, when I was in Afghanistan and I saw those pictures, I was like, fuck, dude, I gotta get my hair back. So started looking into all these different ways to get my hair back. And yeah, there's medications to it, but derma rolling and using the right shampoo, the right diet, and all these different things, I ended up putting my own routine together. And after about 12 weeks, I noticed that I started getting my hair back. Outside of, I don't want to say like competitors' names, I guess, or like major brands, but there's major brands out there that everybody's aware of that you can get these medications or topical solutions from. Along with those things, there's other things that you can do, and I alluded to one of those, which was like derma rolling and the use of biotin and collagen. And you can go into diet and how heavy metals and plastics are in our diet, and changing up to whole foods and eating organically and kind of cleansing your body to get that shit out of your body. And hard water plays a factor, which we have hard water here.
Yep.
But combating those things with shampoos and conditioners that are organic and actually good for you, and things like aloe and rice water and all those different things are actually like good for the follicle. But all of that, and then when I was in Afghanistan, when we got back, we had a lot of friends, or I had a lot of friends, I'll just say that, commit suicide. So, in the military community and honestly, first responders in those communities, mental health is huge. People talk about it. People talk about anxiety, depression, and suicide awareness, but I don't think that they necessarily take it seriously.
Yeah.
I think it's talked about and it's a talking point, and like, hey, we should be aware of these things. But until you're actually affected by it, then
you don't understand.
You don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2020 into 2021 was a rough year in general. In the span of, it was like 14 or 15 months, I had 7 people or close friends or friends and whatnot commit suicide in that span. Some closer than others and some very close. So that took a toll on me.
Yeah.
And it was hard to deal with that, I guess. So, me going through the hair loss and the things like that, I had the idea of starting my own business and being able to help people, because one, it got my confidence back, it helped with my anxiety, it helped with my depression. I saw what it did for me, the little things in my body image and things like that. Also, it was influential to people around me, being able to, I guess, talk on how I got my hair back. I had people actually approaching me who were balding themselves and like, dude, how the fuck did you get your hair back?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't believe it. Like,
Definitely
did you?
night and day.
Yeah, it's definitely night and day. And we're naive. Like, men are definitely naive. Like, there's no way you got your hair back without surgery. Well, I never got surgery.
Yeah.
So, I guess the people that approached me, I kind of gave them my regimen, and then they started sending me pictures like, hey, dude, I got my hair back. Like, you changed my life, type of thing. And that was well before I even launched anything. Yeah. I still technically haven't launched anything yet. But seeing what that did to people and how it was influential and I was able to help them, I was like, I got to do this. And then to take that a step further, to go back to the suicide thing, I was like, all right, if I can help people in this way, I can give back to the first responder community and the veteran community. mental health is huge to me. Suffering, I guess, the losses that I did,
Mhm.
and that made me realize that I wanted to give back. And working a 9 to 5, I'm sorry, but I'm not giving my salary to give back in that way. What kind of impact can I actually make?
Mhm.
So starting a business, helping people, and then being able to give a portion of every single sale back to those charities or organizations that help first responders and veterans. You can scale that as far as you want to go and
Mhm.
give back and actually make a difference.
Right.
Um, so that's really the why. I also found my background and my upbringing and then being in the military community,
Mhm.
I would say 80% of the people in the military community have a rough fucking upbringing.
Yeah.
And they're kind of looking for role models and trying to discover themselves and things like that. And I found when I was in the military, I was somebody, not trying to toot my own horn or anything. Um, the guys that were below me when I was in leadership positions looked up to me.
Mhm.
So I found that I was able to become a role model in the right ways, give guidance, and people, and usually younger individuals, came to me asking a lot of questions or talking about past trauma or just asking about life. And I don't know
Mhm.
if it was how I carried myself or how I treated people, because I always try to treat people with respect. Um, Being able to have that influence and then seeing how it impacts and influences people makes me want to do it on a larger scale. So starting a business and doing it and having a platform to do it is the best way that I know how.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess all of those things is why I wanted to start Alopecia Arsenal, and I
Mhm.
can go into, I guess, what it will provide, but um, it's a business set up to help with hair loss, hair therapy, and things like that. There will be more organic um, options, I guess, for people,
Mhm.
especially in like the realm of men's hair and skin and things like that. You go into a store and whatever you're pulling off the shelf more than likely is actually not good for you.
Yeah. No,
It
people don't read the ingredients. They just read the label.
Yeah, they just literally just read what's on the label. Oh, that's some cool ass packaging. That's got to be
Yeah.
good.
Vegan. It's good.
Yeah,
Then you look
that
at the
don't
ingredients and it's
that
like,
don't mean
what
shit.
the fuck?
Exactly. And having control of what actually goes into a product and knowing that you're putting out a good product, it goes a long way.
Yeah.
It'll speak for itself.
Mhm.
I'll vouch for it. And the other part of that, I could take that a step further. People think that buying here in the United States, like the state of the United States and the ingredients that are put into our products and our food and shit like that,
Mhm.
usually is not good.
No.
It's really sad to say that the best skincare and hair care products
Mhm.
come from ingredients from Asia.
Mhm.
And it's sad, but it's true. Why is that? That should be changed.
Yeah.
But I can go into that another time.
Yeah. It's just fast production.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I guess what Aloe Arsenal will provide will be shampoo, conditioner, body wash, topical solutions, minoxidil. Minoxidil is a topical solution that helps with regrowth, and then an organic component to that or alternative to that would be the RCP with copper peptides. So
Mhm.
um, giving the people the option to
Right.
to choose what they want to use to try to get their hair back.
Yeah.
There'll also be telemedicine integration, and finasteride is, I guess, the pill or topical solution that men need to take to stop
Stop.
the balding from
Mhm.
happening. I can touch on that. It's a DHT blocker, which your body converts testosterone to DHT, which is dihydrotestosterone, which is technically a byproduct, and that conversion happens on the men's scalp. So it's not how much testosterone you have, it's how fast your body's converting the testosterone to the byproduct that causes the balding. And taking finasteride ultimately stops or blocks that.
Mhm.
Um, and, like those things will be available. But the company that we're also working with, I won't name them yet, will have other telemedicine options available for other things that are anxiety and depression inhibiting. And those being like ED medications or I'll even say it out loud, but like herpes medications and things like that. Things that you're embarrassed to go to the doctor for. And now you can go to our website. All you have to do is click, here's my symptoms, here's the things that I have going on, per se. You fill out a quiz. It goes to a medical provider, a licensed medical provider. You go into a chat room with them, explain what you have going on, and guess what? Those medications just show up to your door.
Yep.
So
that'll be nice.
Yeah, and you don't need insurance.
Yeah.
You can just pay right out of pocket. So being able to provide things like that for people, for men especially, because again, we don't talk.
Yeah.
We don't, especially about those things. Those aren't things that you're openly going to talk to your buddies about, because you have the fear of getting bullied by them. Really, that's just the men's culture, men's stigma.
Yep.
But I kind of went off on a tangent with it a little bit, but it's not launched yet. The website's still being developed. The back end is still being developed. Working on securing a lot of funds, because starting a business like this is not cheap.
No.
There's a lot that goes into it, a lot of logistics that go into it. Oh man. Figuring out the products to start was an ordeal, right? Being able to source the right ingredients and then verify, I guess, the manufacturer of the shampoos, conditioners, all the different things, making sure that they can provide the ingredients that we want, making sure that they're kosher, and then figuring out all the shipping, all the logistics of getting here, the storage, the website, how do we want to present it to people, how can we find the right price point for the ingredients that we're purchasing. Better ingredients, unfortunately, it costs a little bit more.
Yep.
And I hope people realize that.
Yeah.
I'm not selling you Walmart brand or what have you. Like, what you're buying is the best quality of some of the shit that you can get. And then figuring out how to get that to your doorstep without charging $20 for shipping is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes, because starting out as a small business, you don't get the luxury of the large corporations and the partnerships and the connections that they have. So I have to start somewhere and then build off of that through building trust with the clients and them seeing the results themselves once they actually have the products in their hands.
I loves.
I loves. I'm going to say that unless you want to. I was going to say that this podcast isn't just about you and I talking about our businesses. Yeah, we're going to touch on our journey and everything that goes into, I guess, the business, building it out, the ups and downs and the hardships and things like that. But this is open-ended, and we will bring people on and do interviews and let them speak on their businesses and their experiences and things like that. Yeah. And I think we'll probably have podcasts where we come up with a completely different script.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be super like niche into something at all whatsoever. Nope. I think that like we were wanting to talk about our businesses, obviously, and where we're at, and if we're going through things and stuff like that, and then interviewing people that are like-minded and talking about their life experiences, and especially if they're out of country or from a different state and whatnot, and seeing their perspective on Washington and the U.S. and other countries, and fitness and health and holistic lifestyle and things like that. And then like you being into CrossFit and with the CrossFit community, and just being very, I guess, well into fitness and how that fits into being healthy and trying to live a long time, and obviously be examples for our kids. And
I think that's more why I've gotten so into CrossFit. I wouldn't say anti-aging, but definitely longevity and like what
being healthy.
Yeah. and the strain of CrossFit on your body is different than anything I've experienced. It's not just go to the gym, weightlift, okay, call it a day. Like there's so many components to it. The flexibility, the strength, the endurance, the stamina, the cardiovascular, I guess, expenditure every single time I step in the gym.
Like a major hit workout.
Yeah, the gymnastics, and with all those things, if you're not taking care of your body, then you're gonna fuck yourself up really quick. And if you're not eating right and hydrating right and attempting to sleep right, which isn't very easy with a 4-week-old right now, but all those things, I mean, I don't necessarily do them for myself. I do them for you and him and Braxton and Abigail, and being a role model, and we will be role models and set the example. Like in our households, we just ate like shit growing up.
Yeah.
Like potato chips
Carbs.
and Cheetos and McDonald's and Taco Bell, like whatever's convenient, whatever's easy. There's a lot of bad shit in that we're naive. We don't know any better.
Right. We were just getting fed.
Yeah.
When we got fed.
Yeah. And now we can instill like eating healthy, eating whole foods, and all those things at a young age for our littles.
That's the baby.
Yeah. I guess there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, health, fitness, being able to do the things that we want long into our 40s, 50s, 60s even. I mean, there's people at the gym 60, 70 years old that are moving great.
Yep.
Like happy, healthy, active mind. And living life, I guess, how we want to when we get to that age. And I guess setting the habits now is kind of what that comes down to. And I'm proud of living different than most people.
Yeah.
Holistically, organically, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And actually focusing on like our mental health, our physical health, how we eat. It makes you feel a lot different about yourself.
Yeah. The like brain fog and the sluggish and the self-pity that you have when you freaking eat bad and eat just, I don't know. And then obviously like changing the culture from quote dieting to just eating healthy and eating normal, and like other people calling that dieting, and it's like, no, you're just fueling your body with like good food and not being afraid to eat, I guess you could say also, and figuring out like I guess just like I said, what fuels your body, what you need. Like you're working out, you need a certain amount of calories and protein and all of the things, and
and it's not
staying hydrated also, and getting your electrolytes, and because you sweat profusely.
I'm terrible.
Yeah.
I sweat a lot. I guess going back, you touched on like dieting. Yeah, just eating.
Yeah.
Being able to eat, be okay with eating good foods, proteins, fats, and carbs. They're not bad for you.
Yep.
Like
not doing fucking that keto bullshit or.
For in some obviously, if you have health conditions, that's okay, but it shouldn't be a fad. Not only that, are you gonna sustain that for the rest of your life?
No, yeah. I guess when I say that is that the people that I've been around, they don't necessarily have health conditions. They're just more so from the old days where, you know, it was like girls needed to be skinny.
Worried about their body image.
Skinny, yeah. And
just because you're skinny doesn't mean that you're healthy.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Just
Mm-hmm.
because you have a certain amount of body fat percentage doesn't make you necessarily unhealthy.
Right. Yeah, I think according to like the US BMI chart or whatever, I'm technically obese or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
there's definitely I think as a society we've definitely come a long way in good ways and in bad ways. In bad ways, obviously convenience is our enemy. And having
DoorDash is a hell of a
yeah,
drug.
I was just gonna say having things door dashed and like McDonald's and Taco Bell and all of that, like you said, like it's not good for you. It's you don't know what's in it. You like I mean there's people that do like put fucking a McDonald's hamburger or McChicken or something in like a box and watch it for months
Yep.
and years and it never like changes or like degrades into anything. It's just there. And
Yeah.
it's like, wow,
It's
that was inside me.
it was inside you. Why do you think your stomach and intestines feel so fucked up?
Yeah.
Not only that, I guess with McDonald's and Taco Bell, I mean, what are the earliest restaurants open and what are the latest that close?
Yeah. Yep. All convenience.
Yeah, it's all convenience and it's all
Mm-hmm.
shit food.
Yep. And then also, food that's not healthy is normally less expensive than healthy food, which is
Absolutely.
unfortunate because it's very, I wouldn't say cheap, but it's very, it's not that expensive to source good food or grow food or,
No,
you know.
it's the ultra processed stuff that's cheap and convenient
Mm-hmm.
with dyes and seed oils and all the ultra processed shit that we
Yes.
can go into.
Yep.
Uh,
It definitely also takes a lot. Like, it's not like we sit and read labels, I suppose. Like we do and we don't.
yeah. Yeah, we do and we don't.
Like, we're not like psychos.
No, not even
We
close.
definitely are, I guess.
We're just conscious, I guess.
Yeah, we're lenient, but we're still conscious
Yeah.
about like what we're putting into our body. Or like we know, like when we eat a shit meal, we're like we feel like shit, like we immediately feel it.
We like ice cream.
Ice cream's ice cream's not touchable, thank you. Ice cream.
You don't fucking touch
I
the
will
ice cream.
never get rid of ice cream. That is my sweet treat. The Jamocha almond fudge from Baskin Robbins.
I'm obsessed with peanut butter.
The only reason why I haven't got a waffle cone also is because we get the bitch door dashed. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine them door dashing a waffle cone. I don't know how that works.
You're just gonna show up destroyed or soggy.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, no thank you. Oh, there was a question in here that I did want to ask. It's down towards the bottom.
I think too, this is gonna be like our first podcast that we're putting out, and it's gonna be like so long.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's okay.
You know what? We could just cut it and we can actually do these as a separate podcast.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I think it's good for us to just kind of like how we did today and just like talk about our lives. And I feel like also like we haven't, like I keep saying like I miss you and like we're in the same fucking house and the same room all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like I feel like it was also a good like vent session for both of us, even though we're very aware of like what's going on and what has happened in our past, like all of that things. But it's always nice to talk, I suppose.
Yeah. There's I kind of breezed over mine, I feel. I alluded to a lot of things, but when you
Well,
talked about the lunch,
about me being poor?
yeah,
Yeah.
made me think of I would always get a hot lunch because my mom didn't have any money to give me. Well, she didn't pay the fucking lunch bill for the school.
Same.
So I would go up there every day, and this poor 87-year-old lunch lady is, Aaron, gotta tell your mom to pay the lunch bill. I'm not supposed to feed you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank God for old ladies.
Yeah.
That have a heart.
I would intentionally show up to lunch late because I didn't want anybody in front of me or behind me.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's fucking embarrassing.
Yes. Yep.
Shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Super embarrassing.
Yeah. No, yeah, I went through that too, and my dad not wanting to write a check for lunch money, and also not wanting to pack a lunch, and...
The fuck you want me to do? Steal lunch?
Yeah. You know what was in my fridge? Fucking...
I know it's in your fridge.
No.
I was probably the same shit that was in mine.
I don't know if you know what these are, but my dad at that point in time that I'm, like, recalling right now, he used to drink Four Locos.
Oh, you think I don't know what fucking Four Locos is?
I don't know. You're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
I don't know if Wisconsins have...
That's what Tanner and I would drink when we would play volleyball in Florida on spring break.
Gross. It fucking, not timeline, it was like Four Locos and MD40. Do you know what MD40 is?
No.
No, and you don't want to know. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it.
I remember the
watermelon. I don't even know
watermelon.
what type of liquor it is. Like, I have no idea. I don't
Is
even
it
know.
malt? Malt liquor?
Yeah, maybe. That sounds
Maybe I do
accurate.
know what it is.
But there's like strawberry and blueberry and or whatever the fuck, I don't know.
When you said Four Loko, I thought of the watermelon Four Loko, and I just fucking want to puke.
Yeah, I remember like trying to sneak one out of the fridge and like drink it at night. Disgusting.
You ever hear of umami?
No.
So umami is the part of the back of your tongue that basically picks up like tart and like back early humans. It'd be like poison.
Yeah.
And elicit the gag reflex and poison yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the gag reflex when I drink a Four Loko.
Yeah. I remember attempting. I don't ever remember actually like drinking one, even like a fourth of the way.
Ugh.
I don't. It was not my thing. I feel like when I was young, I tried to like force myself to drink or like tell myself that it was like cool. It's never cool.
Not cool.
At all.
What about UV blue?
Yeah, no. That I wasn't on that train. No. My dad's go-to thing was either tarantula and something else or Bacardi and Coke.
Ugh. What about what am I Bacardi, rum, and Mountain Dew.
Oh,
yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah. My mom used to drink Red Dogs.
I don't know what those are.
Oh, the nastiest fucking beer that you can find.
That's gross.
Nastiest.
Busch Light was the red flags.
Not as bad as Red Dog.
I think little guy wants to eat.
Yeah, he does.
Hello.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're gonna have a shit ton to edit.
I know.
I feel bad because I can't even like necessarily help with it.
No, that's definitely like a Ronan saying, "Oh my goodness!" Ronan saying hi. All right, we gotta wrap this bitch up.
Yeah, he's gonna eat the microphone.
Why are you bobbing and weaving?
It amazes me that he's comfortable. Like, people would see that and be like, "That's not okay."
Yeah.
And he's comfortable. He loves it.
Mm-hmm.
When I'll hold his head back like a little turtle, and he's falls asleep snoring.
Yeah.
He's also got a really strong neck.
He is very strong. He knows how to hold his little head up,
which is unbelievable for his little age.
Say bye.
Okay, you squeak. Look at he's standing up.
I know. He said, "I'm a breastfed baby. Where's the boob?" All right.
All right, it's over.
Say bye.
He's eating his jammies.
I feel.